everyone, how are we? Good. My name's Casey Adlard. I'm the curriculum leader at Horseshoe College. I'm going to be doing a basic sort of home isolation, short back and sides, a little blend, a little bit of a square layer through the top, dead simple. Hi everyone. And then hopefully you'll be able to go home, try it on a family member. Good luck on that. So I'll get on with it. I'll take a few questions at the end. I'll try and say hello to everyone that I can see on there. Hi Mel. And we'll keep saying hi as we go along. Okay, so to start, this is my model. And what we're going to do is we're going to put something called a horseshoe layer in this. Now, I've chose this doll's head basically because I think everybody will more or less have this type of haircut when it grows out. Obviously, there'll be varying lengths going on and everything, but you know. So, we're going to put a horseshoe section in. Hey, Eric. So, here we go. So, horseshoe section. Basically, it is what it is. Top of the temples, right the way around in a horseshoe shape. So, you'll need a couple of clips. So I'm assuming most people will have a set of clippers for this. I will try and do a bit with scissors as well, but mostly there'll be a lot of clippering involved in it. Okay. There we go. So horseshoe section, and through the back. Let's get that up there. There we go. So how's that? So a little horseshoe section all the way around. Okay, as I said, temple to temple. Set of clippers. I've got cordless. Doesn't matter if they've got a cord or not. It is what it is. Right, so okay, so what we're going to do is first of all, we're going to use a number 3. Now, I'm not doing a skin fade or anything like that. That's too much to be having a go at home. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a blend. We're going to do from a number 3 to a number 2 to a 1. Okay? Very basic. But it's, you know, at the moment, we'll start doing skin fades, it'll be a bit too much for everyone. So let me turn the doll's head to the side so you can see. There we go. So if it goes a bit loud, I apologise. Okay, so number 3, let me show you how we put this on first. So there's your clippers. Okay. Alright, there's your number 3 guard. We'll always say number 3 on there. It's a 9mm. It means it takes off. Leaves 9mm. And we're going to pop that on. The most important bit, the click. If it doesn't click, it's going to fall off, and then you're going for a skin fade. Okay. So always making sure the bar's up. If the bar's down, it's going to be 3.5. Okay. Deborah, am I going to shave the doll's head? I am going to shave the doll's head. I'm going to use the clippers on it. Okay. So we're going to go up. And what I'm doing is I'm scooping it away. So we're coming up to the top. I'm not coming right the way up. I'm taking it up and I'm going to scoop it away. Most important thing you can do, the scoop. Let me show you through the side. Give me 1 second. Okay, again, the scoop's everything. Because if you come up and then just pull out, you're going to give lines. Okay. So, come round. As I said, for those that are joining a little bit later on, this is a number 3 guard. And we're just doing a basic blend through it, a little square layer through the top. Okay. I'm coming up. And scooping away. And we're working that all the way around the horseshoe section. Okay. Tell you what I'll do is we'll show you the type of thing we're heading for. Bear with me. Sometimes visually. That type of thing. Classic. Short back and sides. Okay. Alright, so as I said, number 3, bringing that up, not right the way up to the horseshoe, And we're just scooping that out. All the way around. Can you see that action? Just bringing it over. Around that. So through the back. So what I am going to do at the end for 5-10 minutes is I'll take questions. I'll also ask you to comment on what you'd like to see over the next 6 weeks or so. And we'll see if we can get that done. It won't always be me doing it. I'll get some of the team to do it with me. I'm sure they'll love that. Any of my students on here? Do you want to give me a wave? Okay, still number 3. Bringing that round. Hey Josh, hope you're well, mate. So that action, scoop. It's all about that scoop. Okay. And then I'll switch to the other side. Again, just that little scoop, all works well. So, first bit done. That's your number 3. As I said, we're going 3 to here, 2 to here, and then 1 through the back. Now, with it being the doll's head, we mightn't quite get the 1 in. We'll get it a little bit round the sides, but mostly the work through the back is where you'll see the 1 coming up, okay? Right, okay, so we're going to go to our number 2 guard now, so that's the number 3. We'll take that off. Is anyone listening earlier? What's the most important thing when I'm putting my guard on? Does anyone want to give me an answer? Give you a couple of seconds. What am I waiting for? The click. There we go. So, nice work. I think it's Lennox Thomas. The Mel's come on as well, the click. The click, we're all coming on. Eric. The click, click, click. Nice work. Aaron, perfect. Rashad, hear the click. Perfect, well done guys. So, number 2. Through the sides. Now, what we're doing now is the 2 is coming just below where your 3 was. So the 3 came up about here and scooped away. The 2, you want to lower it midway now. So halfway and then halfway through the back. So remember the arms up, that makes it a 2. So we're coming in and just taking the tiniest bit off there through the sides. Those that have ever worked on doll's heads will understand that the sides aren't as high. There we go, so we're coming in, there's our 2. See the way there's your line with the 3? We're just skimming over that, underneath it, sorry. And work that round, and let's see if we can bring that through. So again, scooping it away. And if you remember, the reason we scoop it away is that we don't want any heavy lines. You're going to get some lines, you know, but we'll play around with that in a minute with the little bar on there. Okay, so keep turning that head around for you. Okay, and we're scooping that out. And again, through the sides. This doll's head's got a lovely little bit of colour on there. and we just scoop that away. So 3, 2, and now we go to the 1. Hey Chloe. Right. Okay. Number 1. Now, fit that on. There's your click. And then we're going to do the 1. Okay, so bar up, and we're just going to come up and bring that through there. And then can you see we're just doing that very slightly through the sides, the 1. Now, obviously we've got kids at home, husbands at home, wives at home, partners at home, who want this type of thing doing, but they want more of a skin fade. You can go down to your 0, which is that off, okay? It takes a little bit more blending, but, you know, it's worth a go. You've got a few more weeks at home to, hopefully, for it to grow out. Okay, so we'll take that 1 through the back now. I'm going to just dip that forward. So, again, 3, 2, the 1's just going to go a little bit lower. Again, scoop that away. So yeah, in some of the questions I'll answer later is I'll take a few requests for the next couple of weeks, see if there's anything, sort of basic things you can do at home. If you want things like hair ups, foil patterns, anything like that, please request it. We have members of the team who are much better than me at hair ups and foil patterns, and I'll get them to do it. I'm sure they'll love to do that. Okay, back through this side, just taking that 1 through a little bit. So again, 3, 2, 1. We'll do that 1 on this side now. And just scooping that away. Okay, that is your basic blend on there at the moment. So what we got is we got the 3, the 2, the 1. Now what I'm going to do now is we're going to go through and we're going to work, just blend a little bit. Now it's a little bit more advanced, only a tiny bit advanced, but you'll get the hang of it. Okay, so we're going to go back in. We're going to take on number 2. Wait for that click. Okay. Two's on there. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the 2. We're going to take the arm down and turn it into a 2.5, okay? So remember, we're not going up to the 3. The 2's there. So what we want to do is, where there's a little tiny line for the 2, we're just going to take that 2.5 and we're just going to blend over a little bit. So, and you can just guide it over. As long as you're doing a little flick, it's fine. Now it's not taking a great deal off, but that's what you want. You just want that little line blended out. Now for those that haven't got clippers at home, I'll show you a little bit of scissor over comb in a second. Now it's a little bit more difficult, but if you haven't got clippers at home, I'll show you a basic way to do that. So then the 2.5, just working that line out. To the sides. A little flick, there we go. So final little bit more of the advanced one is put the 1 on. There's the click. Remember the bar's down on this, so it's a 1.5. And we're just going to go down to the little bit there where we finished the 1 before. And then we're just going to flip that line out. You can hear that a little bit. Hi Karen. And we'll just do that little 1.5 flick through there now. Right, S. Here's your little 1.5. Just to blend that line out a little bit more. There we go. So, let me talk you through what we've done. So, we put a horseshoe section in, yeah? We used the number 3 guard, we came up, we flicked out. Used the number 2 guard, we came up just below and flicked it out. And then we used the number 1 guard, we came up again, a bit lower, flicked that out. Now, that will give you your basic blend. But we've gone a little bit further on that. We've put a number 2 back on. We've come up to the 2 line and we put the half on. So we bent the arm down. Let me show you. So, down. And we just blended that little 2 line out. And then we put the 1 on, come to the 1 line, and we just blended that out. Now we've done that through the sides as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just a little bit of scissor over comb. Now if you haven't got clippers at home, you can have a go at doing this through the back and sides. Same thing, you put your horseshoe section in and you just scissor over comb up. Ideally you have clippers at home. Okay, so but what we're going to do is, so you can see the number 3, we've got a little bit of a heavier line. You can get rid of it with a 3.5 just to blend it more, but I just want to show you a little bit of this technique. So, scissors, comb, and what you do is very slowly just through the ends, and that just blends that line up a little bit. Now if you had no clippers, you'd be going in right close to the head and then scooping out, scoop out, and basically all the way around. It takes a while, but you know, it will work the trick. So let's have a makeup by Trish. If your kid's got a mop head, is it best to cut before clippers? A longer sort of, if you've got clippers, use the longer sort of guard on it, Trish. Get rid of it all, or take it down with the scissors first. Depends how long it is. Okay. So scissor over comb. Karen, I've seen your comment about, is this your doll's head? Probably. So just blending that out a little bit. It's got some colour marks in there. Nothing else I can do about that. And through. Hey Chloe, you alright? Yes, I do remember you. Hope you're well. Hope you're using those skills you learned at the college. Very slowly up. And there's your scissor over comb. Now, if you do this and you think, you know what, I'm alright at this, apply for a course with the college. That'd be great. We're doing online enrolment. We're also doing interviews over the phone at the moment, so definitely enroll if you can. One thing going forward with the haircut, if you've got a pair of thinning scissors and if you've got lots of lines in there, these will hide all kinds if you want them to, okay? You just go in, just through the very ends, same scissor over comb technique, and they will get rid of all the lines if you want them to. Okay. One thing you don't do with thinning scissors, in at the scalp and then press them. It's just going to ping everywhere. You don't want to do that. But they will take the weight out of it and they will blend the lines more. And as this demonstration is basically about doing home haircuts, keeping it simple, they would be a lifesaver. Right, so that's our blend there. So what we're going to do now is just come through to the top, and I'm going to show you the basic square layer through the top. Okay. Mandy, do we do a refresher course? We don't do refresher courses, but we, you know, depending on what level you're at, we do slightly different courses that you can, if you give us a ring or get in touch online, we can advise you from there, Mandy. Right, so let's take them clips out and let's spray the top down. So those that have joined later, I just want to show you the type of thing that we're doing. It's very basic, but we're heading for that type of cut. One more time. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do now is spray this down. Okay, there's a question on there. If someone's got a nape whirl on the crown or strong sort of movement through the crown, what's best to do? Now, you either can leave it long so it's heavy and it weighs down, or you take it a bit shorter. Now, it depends how strong that is. If it's a really strong one, you take it shorter. You've got to commit to that short crown. It's, you know, it's a personal preference. I'm not a big fan of short crowns, so I would leave it a little bit longer to weigh down myself. Okay, so what we're going to do, very basic square layer through the top. So I'm going to come through to the back now. I'm going to cut it through the side first and then I'll change direction. There we go. So I've combed it all over. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick it up and lift it up an inch and a half, 2 inches. And I'll show you this technique in a minute, but I'm going to basically cut little mountains in through the top. That's called point cutting. Now, the reason I'm not cutting it straight is that I want it to have texture in there. If you were a hairdresser or barber doing this, you probably might cut it straight and then put the texture in at the end. But obviously this is more for doing it at home if you haven't really got any hairdressing barbering experience. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the next section forward. I'm going to take a little bit from the section behind. Now that gives me something called a guide line. And that guide line I'm going to stick to right the way through to the front. Now the front I'll do something slightly different. I'll show you what to do when we get there. So we're going to lift this up. There's my guide behind. There's my little mountains. Now, if you haven't got hairdressing scissors, a pair of those orange handled scissors from the kitchen, whatever you've got, just give it a go. As long as they cut the hair, doesn't really matter. And we'll just work that forward. Now, the shape at the moment is come out, and then we're going up, and we're squaring it over. Okay? And we'll work that forward. There we go, my guide's there. I'll speed through this bit a little bit. Okay, so I'll change this to the side so you can see how I'm doing this. Okay. So I've taken that one, that one, that one, and onto this section here. Always following my guide. There's my guideline there, and forward. Hi Mira. Now Mira's just come on. Mira's an old friend of mine, and I know in the last week or so she's shaved her hair for charity. She's gone from basically a bit longer than this and took her all off, so you know, absolutely brilliant what she's done for charity. Amazing, and she suits it as well. Okay, so we just keep going forward, working that through. Alright, so last section before we hit the fringe. So we're just going to lift that up, as I said. There we go. So now we're going to hit the fringe now. So sometimes you don't want to take the fringe too short, otherwise you get that sort of Lloyd Christmas look going on. You know, Dumber and Dumber, you don't want that straight fringe. Some people might, depends what you're aiming for. So what I'm going to do is we're going to leave that fringe a little bit longer. So we're going to do something called over direction. So what that is, we're going to pick it up, we're going to pull it back into probably the section before or the section before that, so probably about half an inch back. What that'll do is it will basically just keep the fringe a little bit longer. Like on that picture I've been showing, it means that you can swoop it over then, otherwise you're not going to be able to, and it's just going to fall flat. Alright, so lift that up. I'll do one side so you can see it there, and then I'll change the other there. So we're going to pull it back and we're going to point cut that fringe. Okay, let me show you from this side. Okay, so we're going to lift it up and then pull it back. Right. Okay, so there we go. So we'll push that forward. Okay, let's have a little nose. Okay, so let's just break this down again. I like to break down the cuts as much as I can, keep it as simple as possible. Horseshoe section, 3, 2, 1, with the clipper guards, then 2.5, 1.5. Okay, thinning scissors if you've got them, no problem. We've then taken sections coming across, call them radial sections. So radial sections coming across, we've lifted them up square, which means flat, basically. And we point cut that. So by point cutting, you can do it, you know, down, and you just put little mountains in there, okay? And we're just working that forward. Now, once we've got through to the fringe, we've pulled that back. That's called over direction. And that maintains length through the fringe for you. If you want to take the fringe off, pull it forward. Just whatever you want to go for. Okay, so one final thing. So what we've got at the moment, if you were wearing it right up, or you like that disconnected look, you probably leave it now, because it is disconnected. So let's have a little look. So see the way we've got short underneath, long over. Now, if you started bringing all that up and bringing it back, looks quite cool, okay? But you've got to wear it up all the time, otherwise if you're wearing it down, you're going to have little overhangs, it's going to look a little bit, you know, sort of not as blended. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull it out square, We're going to create that square. So remember, we've done that, and we're just going to take that off through there. So dead simple way. There are other ways to do this. If there's any hairdressers, barbers on there, they'd be looking at it going, well, you can do it another way. I understand that, but we're keeping it quite simple today. Okay, so literally pull it out. There's your blend there from your number 3. There's the top of your hair. We put it on the centre pattern. Keep it square, keep it flat, and you're just going to blend that. And we're just going to bring that all the way around. Okay, let's see. Any more questions? Hi, Ange. I'm going to bring that out. I can see some of you asking for certificates. I think Ben's watching this at the moment. Get him to print them off. He doesn't mind sending them out to you. Did you do the blend at an angle to the occipital bone or straight across? Right, no, I can't even see. I think that's Kim. Hi, Kimberly, you're right. I basically brought it up to the horseshoe section. I never really used the occipital bone in this blend. I just took her up a 3 and then the 2 and then the 1. Again, it's how high you want the blend to be. So using the occipital bone if you want to at home is fine. Hi Tess. Hope all the family are well. And then just bring that out. Perfect. Take that corner off. Right, let's spin that round. And a little one. Okay. So. All good. So, I'm going to tell you a few more things. We'll dry it off and then we'll style it. I'll answer a few questions, okay? So, what's that question? I will answer this one now. Is this part of level 2 hair? Yes, this basic sort of blend is part of the level 2 hairdressing. You can also do the level 2 barbering course as well, which goes into it a lot more. Hey Dan, hope you're well, mate. Okay, so what I'm going to talk you through now is just about cutting around the ears very briefly. If you've got a pair of clippers, you just take it round. If you've not got clippers or you want to use scissors, the easiest way to do it is to get your client, family member, is to grab their ear, get them to hold it down and just cut round, okay? Clipper wise, it's basically just going around the ears like that, very gently. Yeah, I think it is going to be posted onto the stories, Dan. Dan's just asked, is this going to be posted onto stories? Yeah, I've been given instructions how to do that. By the lovely Ben. Okay, so come around the ears, you get your client to hold them down, and you just come around. Okay. And down. All right. Simple as that, and you come around the ears. People panic. As long as you get them to hold it down out the way, you're not going to cut it off, so it's all good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blow dry it. You won't be able to hear me for a minute. It might go a bit loud. Dry it, I'll style it, and then hopefully answer a few of your questions. Just using a little bit of Bluebeard's sea salt spray. These are the products that we use in the barbering. So they're a really good product range that we stock. So it's called Bluebeard's Revenge. Okay, I'm going to use the matte clay to style this today. Hairdryer. Now I'm going to use a Cricut brush. For those that know me, know I love a Cricut brush. So first things first, we're going to get that little quiff coming into the front. It's going in, holding it for a minute, giving it the quiff and then letting go. Hi Hermione. Chloe, what does the clippers look like? Right, I'll show you the clippers in a second, Chloe. I use Wald Super Tapers. The mid-range ones are really good. Use them so much in work that these just keep going. Josh, if he's still on here, has got an amazing collection and spends hundreds of pounds on them. I'm sure he'd be able to come on and tell you which ones he thinks are the best as well. I don't know if Michael's on here, he has a pretty decent collection as well. I think when you're styling hair, with the front being the focal point, anything behind it really you can give it a little blast off. As long as you get the front right, you're going to be okay. Okay. Final bit, a little bit of styling. One last bit of advice though. If you're finished and you see a bit and you think it's too long, as long as you're not going to take a big chunk out, you're fine. You can just take it there, take that corner off, and it'll sit in. Same through this side. It's where I over-directed before, I just need to take them little corners off. Alright, that paste. Not that much. Warm her up a little bit. Go through the back of the head always, because if you just go on the front, it's just going to make it greasy, it's going to fall flat quicker. It's more hair, it's higher density through the back of the head. And we'll just mess that up a bit. And you do the hairdresser barber thing, that little... Just makes you look that little bit more professional. Whether it does anything or not, I don't know. There we go. So. You are catching them up, Mel. I must admit your selection of clippers is definitely catching those guys up. Guys, it's lovely to have you all on, those from the college. It's great to see you're all good. And those that aren't in the college, or those that have been to the college in the past, hey, nice to meet you and great to see you again. Let's have a little nose. Come from your view. So, what you could have done, Could have took it a bit shorter, but you know, I didn't really want to do that skin fade, would have been too much. So this gives you a basic square graduation. So one last run through, okay? Horseshoe section. Number 3 clipper, number 2 clipper, number 1 clipper, same through the back. 3, 2, 1, okay? Then we've gone in and done 2.5 over where the 2 line is, just to blend it up, get rid of the line. 1.5, just to blend it up, get rid of the line. Let me show you how you do that. The minute you do that, it turns it into a half, okay? One last little go. We've then come through to the top, started at the back, took it about 1.5 inches. Radial sections going forward, all pretty much the same. We've point cut it, little mountains when you point cut. Okay, we've come through to the fringe and we've just pulled it back a little bit, just to over direct it back, just to maintain a bit of length through there. You can take it forward, you can take the fringe shorter. Just be careful to point cut it and maybe leave yourself enough length to sort of bring over. Otherwise, you're going to get that dumber and dumber look. Okay. Thanks, Lou. Alright, there's my model for today. Excellent. Right, so I've got a few minutes. Is there any questions at all that I can answer? I'll tell you a little bit about the courses we do at Hubert Limea. Okay, so level 2, hairdressing and barbering. They run September through to July. Okay, you can enroll on them at the moment. You just go to the website, click on the page, enroll. Same with level 3, hair and barbering. We've plenty of courses across, but that's my thing. Okay, let's have a little look. How to style a cow's lick. Now, if it's at the front and it's really high, basically it's going to win in the end. I always think go with your cow's lick. Depending if you've got sort of like a longer fringe, longer bangs, maybe you can keep the weight in them and that will weigh it down a little bit, but at the end of the day it's going to win, so you go with it is the best thing I could say to you on that. How far do you take that number 3 to the horseshoe? Okay, so basically up to the horseshoe, but I would always just drop about 1 centimetre or 2 below it, just in case you do go too high. And if you go above the horseshoe, you're into this. If you feel there, you've got bumps there. That's called the parietal ridge. If you go up there, don't know if any of you seen the film Jarhead. That's the haircut you're gonna get. Okay. Any tips on getting kids to sit still? iPads, chocolate, whatever. Anything to bribe them. I find that works. Quick tips on Leo's Kelly. Any quick tips on blending the weight line, please? Yeah. A bit earlier on I talked about scissor over combing. So you can scissor over comb that out, or you can use the arm on your clippers to blend out. But if you're at home, and I don't know if you're a hairdresser or not, if you've got a pair of thinning scissors, get them thinning scissors about halfway into that, where that weight line is, and just keep blending out. That will get rid of them. You can get them for £5 to £10 online, and they are the best thing for blending when you're at home. Okay. Griffiths, can we save this video for future reference? That's a question for Ben. I'm going to pop it onto the feed afterwards. Maybe he'll come on and explain that. I'm unsure how that's going to work. But hopefully he's the man. He'll be able to do it. I'm sure he will. Thanks, Les. Any more? No? Perfect. Right. Okay. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to do these once a week if I can. I'm going to try and get other members of the team to do it, because I'm sure they'll love to do it. And, you know, welcome to my spare room in the house. Maybe we'll try and do it from college one day, but we'll see. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.